All right, almost ready to get... Hi there, how are you? Who are you? Can you get out of my desk? We're about ready to start a show here, and what are you doing here? What? Are your parents here or something? Shouldn't you be supervised? What are you anyways? Can somebody please help me and tell me what is going on here?
Hey, Tim, I think I can help you out with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, my name's Julie Silverman. I'm here from ECHO, Lake Aquarium and Science Center.
Julie Silverman. So you're responsible for this orange glob.
Yeah, he works with me. He's one of the co-workers, you know, can't keep him in line.
Yeah, and what exactly is this that we're talking about?
Well, Newton is a red-spotted newt. He actually is part of a nudist colony we have down at ECHO. He left his brothers and sisters behind. He actually put on some clothes for us today. But usually he is in a tank hanging out with other newts.
Nude.
Nude, yeah,
Nude.
yeah. We have a hat for him today, though.
Nice hat, Newt. Very good. So we can kind of expect to see these kinds of things down at ECHO?
Yeah, and some of our animals have even less clothes on than this. We have live fish, frogs, snakes, turtles, over 70 different species.
Well, wait a minute. I thought ECHO was in Burlington. Is it in Brattleboro?
It is. We're pretty progressive in Burlington. Didn't you know that?
Oh, no, I did not know that. All right, so what else can we find down at ECHO and what's coming up?
Well, we have a really great frog world exhibit that we actually bring in some amphibians, very much like Newt's relatives. And they're from all around the world, from Madagascar, from really cool places like in South America, the rainforest. We also have a really cool beluga whale dig. We have a weather studio that people can actually become a weather reporter.
From that other station, WPTZ.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
That's all right.
And then what we really have going on, which is really exciting, is we just opened Attack of the Bloodsuckers.
Bloodsuckers?
Yeah.
Like the leeches and stuff?
Yeah, not lawyers.
Oh,
just so you know. Yeah, not lawyers, yeah. And no IRS agents either.
You know what I think would be fun? I think maybe what we should do is come down with an LNS crew and kind of look at the sites of ECHO and maybe show it to our at-home studio audience. What do you guys think, huh?
That'd be a lot of fun.
Maybe we can do that. So right now I'm going to see if I can get my desk back for the show. So stay right here. It's time for Late Night Saturday.
It's Late Night Saturday with Tim Kavanagh. Tonight's guest, Kaile Warren. The music of Steel Rail Bluegrass. Now from Alumni Auditorium, here's Tim.
Very much. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. I know. You guys are cheering now that that yellow thing's finally out of here, or orange thing, whatever it was. It left a mess on my desk here. How many folks have been down to ECHO? A lot of you folks been down there? Wow. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. We've got a great show lined up for you. We've got Kaile Warren with all of his how-to tips is here this evening. How about that? Plus, we have musical guest Steel Rail Bluegrass. But before we get to all that, it's time to go and find out what our picture of the week is, and it is brought to us by Parent Studios, Annalisa Parent, and this looks like a picture from last season. It is Bill, the producer. He looks so confused right there. Annalisa is in the middle. She's the one who takes all the pictures here. And of course, Jamie Polly, who is our announcer, is right there. Just some of the folks here at Late Night Saturday who make all the action happen. Let's hear a big round of applause for them. All right, now it's time to find out if we have an everyday hero out there in the studio audience.
These awards are for the Joes among us who decided to rise from average to above average. These are awards for everyday heroes. This week's award goes to Red Johnson for his phenomenal work in the adult film industry. Excelling in his craft, this man has spent hours polishing his work, buffing the kinks out of all things kinky. Donating sweat and tears, this master spends hours in dark rooms alone, honing his highlights. For this purveyor of pornography, we offer a 5 phallus salute. we bow to this boy of the blue movies, Mr. Red Johnson, a true everyday hero.
Red Johnson. Yes, Red Johnson, congratulations. You are our true everyday hero, and we do salute you, sir. And I think you are deserving of a spin on that prize wheel. So the lovely Miss Jen, go ahead and spin that wheel. All kinds of fabulous prizes up there, and let's find out exactly what it's landed on. It's landed on Mamma Mia's Pizzeria. Jamie, tell them what they've won.
It's dinner for two at Mamma Mia's Pizzeria, Gateway Plaza, South Burlington. Homemade Italian dishes at affordable prices. 864 Mia's, a value of $50. Back to you, Tim.
That's right, Mamma Mia's Pizzeria. They were our restaurant sponsor last year for season 1, and we thank them very much. Ray, you've also won this, a jar of Jed's Maple Mud. It's delicious, made right here in Vermont, and you, the porn star that you are, you can spread this on at home. Be sure to tune in to the Wizard Rocks 106.7 WIZN for details about upcoming shows. We'll be right back with more Late Night Saturday right after this.
Like to attend a taping of Late Night Saturday. For tickets, stop by South Burlington's University Mall at the customer service desk or log on to our website, latenightsaturday.com.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Tonight's guest can be seen on the CBS Early Show with his empowering how-to tips. Please welcome the creator of Rent-A-Husband, Kaile Warren.
Hey, how are you, sir? Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for being
Great
here.
to be here. What a great audience.
It's
huh?
a wonderful audience.
Yeah.
Give yourselves a big round of applause, huh? All
I
right.
wonder how many are handy at home.
All right, by applause, how many are handy in the household? By applause. Yeah? Really? I am too. That's why we found Kaile here, and he's actually going to help us out with some quick how-to tips. But before we get into that, Kaile, let's tell the folks how you created Rent-A-Husband.
Well, Tim, it came at an all-time low in my life. At one time, I was a successful real estate developer. I was involved in a very serious car accident, and I was out of work and in physical therapy for a couple of years. Long story short, I lost my business, I lost my home, I repossessed the car and truck. And then my wife divorced me, and basically I gave up on life. And I ended up living in a homeless shelter in Portland, Maine for 2 years. And one night I was sleeping in this abandoned warehouse, and this rat ran across my feet. And I got up and I killed the rat, and I laid back down on the floor, and I started crying, and I prayed for intervention that night. And I awoke that evening at 3 a.m. with this Rent-A-Husband for those jobs that never get done idea. And ever since then, my life in this company has just been a whirlwind.
Wow. Wow, that actually is, that's a very inspiring story, don't you folks think? You can, we'll talk about it a little bit more. He has also written a book, which is The Guide to Safe Problem-Free Home. Is that correct?
Got to love it.
It's a bestseller. Is it on the Oprah list yet?
Actually, Oprah just promoted it not too long ago, so it was very nice of her. I love Oprah.
There you go. So you've had Oprah promote it. You've also been on the CBS Early Show, where you have a recurring role where folks can find out all about different how-to tips. And you just did an interview with CNBC.
CNBC, yeah. Donnie Deutsch on The Big Idea, and I landed my first acting role in an HBO movie recently opposite Ed Harris. So things are going really well, and we're franchising Rent-A-Husband throughout the nation now. So my life has turned around in the last 10 years.
Right, so you're throughout the nation, but right here locally, folks can find out more information at the local Ace Hardware stores, and it's Bibbins Ace Hardware. It's Bibbins.com, and they've partnered up with you, and that's where folks can find out all about Rent-A-Husband.
Absolutely. We're very excited to be here working with Bibbins Ace Hardware. They understand customer service, and you know, the way the world's going, Tim, people today simply don't have the time, tools, or talent to do home maintenance themselves. So where do you turn? You need security, you need safety, you need to have it done right the first time. And that's what Rent-A-Husband is trying to do, is establish a threshold for what the handyman industry ought to have for standards.
And I like it because you empower people how to do it. So with that said, you're going to teach me how to do a couple different projects here, right? Now, I brought in my hard hat. Do I need this?
You should put it on,
I should put this on.
Actually, your lovely wife told me not to tuck my shirt in because you were one messy mutter, she said.
There's a bad story about me in mudding, but we won't go into it.
I've heard it.
Do I need the goggles?
Not right now.
All right.
Save
I was
them.
actually once the poster child for birth control.
Tim, you look a lot like my art rendition here.
I thought that looked familiar. All right, what are we going to do?
Well, one of the things about taping or repairing your drywall, people will put paper tape on, and by the way, I recommend paper over fiberglass. It gives you a stronger hold. Now, the problem is when people put it on, it seems to always resurface as you're sanding. I'm going to give you a quick tip to make this disappear after the first
And that's
coat.
one heck of a mutter when it happens, huh?
I'm not going there, Tim. Now, you want to grab your knives? I'm going to teach you a little jingle.
All right, just like what you got?
Yeah, now when people work with joint compound, they get frustrated because it tends to grow and it gets all over everything and you see it on your knives.
I'm going to help myself.
Now listen to this jingle that I came up with. To keep your knives clean as you're working, it's almost like being a chef in a kitchen. You want to do a side stroke, turn around, turn the knife, not your wrist, side swipe,
Yeah.
go side swipe,
Right, yeah.
bottom wipe.
Bottom wipe.
Now don't touch that line, Tim.
Yeah. What are we doing
Top
here?
flight.
Top
So
wipe.
it's simply side swipe, bottom wipe, top flight, and you'll continuously have a nice ball of joint compound to work with. Very
Right.
good. I'm impressed. Now, Tim, when you're working,
Oh, those damn seagulls.
where's the custodian?
Don't ask for Hank. He's not going to help.
Now, Tim, when you're working with your 6-inch putty knife, you want to control it with your 2 fingers like this here.
Okay.
A lot of people will grab it by the handle and then they get arthritis, you know. Just work it with your fingers. It gives you much more flexibility.
All right.
Put just a thin bed of joint compound
All right.
into the seam. All right. Now, here's the tip of the knife. When you're putting your tape in place,
I'm just going to keep balling.
okay. When you're putting your tape in place, make sure to seam it.
Yeah.
This is the trick right here. Seam the tape, line it up in line with the seam of the sheetrock.
Okay.
Get it in place with your 2 fingers.
Yeah.
How's that look, Tim?
That looks pretty good.
Then simply make one easy swipe over the top and then go back that way there. Now, as the joint compound dries, it will shrink and will actually suck that tape into the middle there. So you tape it once and forget it, then you put your second, third coat on, it'll never resurface.
All right, good. Good.
You ready for some mudslinging?
I'm ready for some mudslinging. What are we going to do?
I don't know. You want to stand back here, Tim.
All
You know,
right.
on the construction sites, it gets kind
Hey,
of...
Kavanagh! I bet you expect me to clean up this mess, don't you?
Hey, Hank, how you doing? This is our guest, Cale Warren, the rent-a-husband guy.
Don't try to kiss up to me, Kavanagh. You know, I'm sick of cleaning up your messes. You're on your own on this one, big guy.
All right. Oh!
Oh, Kavanagh!
I was a sniper in the military, too.
You are good. I think I'm going to try that right now. All right, what else have we got?
That was fun. Can he come back?
That was good. No, I think Hank's done for the night. All right, so what else have we got? We've got a couple minutes left.
Well, I
What
want
else
to
do we
have a
want to try and
cocking
do?
challenge with you if you're up for it.
Easy there, Trigger. I know it's a late night show, but all right, a cocking
All right,
challenge.
yes.
Where should I put that?
Yeah,
Right there?
just throw it anywhere. Yeah.
All right. This
What
I
I've
can
done-
do.
I've routed out a groove in the board, Tim. Now, that was premature. Okay. Now, what you want to do
It's
is
gonna get messy.
Squeeze the trigger and
Yeah.
pull the gun back. The secret to cocking is to make sure that you lay a nice bed and you don't want too much or too little. So once you get a rhythm, Tim,
You're not going to get started without me, are you?
no, go ahead.
Yeah.
And maybe the audience can cheer us
A little,
on here.
little cheering on.
Look at this.
Oh.
Jim! Oh!
All right. That was easy. That
You're pretty good with that
It
stuff.
actually looks better than my shower surround. All right, we got about a minute left. What can you teach me in a minute?
Painting, okay? You do not want to have holidays in your paint. The problem people have is that when they start painting, they'll start on one side and they'll work across. You have a heavy concentration of paint here, light, then they'll start over here again.
Okay.
When you're painting, make an M or a W and then finish it off with horizontal strokes. Okay? Smooth, consistent finish. When it gets done, it will look like a professional painted it, and it's really that simple to do.
So it's these tips like this, plus a whole lot more that folks can find out about Rent-A-Husband. That's at rentahusband.com. And here locally, like we said, folks can tune into Bibbins.com, which is the local Ace Hardware store. And we're going to be right back with more Late Night Saturday right after this. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Up next is a perfect example of hardworking musicians making some of the best music ever. Please welcome Steel Rail Bluegrass. Thank you very much. Welcome back to the show. How about this? Steel Rail Bluegrass. What a great sound that was, guys.
Thank you very much, Tim. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it really was a super sound. George, go ahead and introduce the guys for us.
My left your stage right from Worcester, Vermont, actually Putnamville, Middlesex. Mr. Rick Barney on the guitar.
Rick.
From Montpelier, Vermont on the stand-up bass, Mr. Michael Ricciarelli. And on the mandolin from Burlington, Vermont, Josh Hallman.
All right, Josh. And Josh was just seen on an episode of Gone Fishing, which is a local show that is produced by Eric Goodrich, who's our director of photography. And you guys actually did the music for Gone Fishing, is that correct?
Yeah, we did a few songs on there that are throughout the episodes. So
Which is great.
It's been a lot of fun.
Good, and I actually was taped in an episode, which I don't know if it's ever aired or when it's coming up, but I think it's coming up soon, and that's with Gucciano Productions. So let's talk about Steel Rail Bluegrass and what you guys have been up to and where we can expect to see you.
Well, thank you, Tim. We started the band in 2003. Like you said, I spent some time playing with Rusty Dewey's and the Fellers, and once that kind of calmed down a little bit, I said, it's time for me to get a bluegrass band together. So there's a jam session down here in Burlington, and I came wandering down with one of my banjos. I think I only had 2 banjos at the time, but I've got 7 of them now. And met Josh, and then shortly after that, met Mike, and Richard and I have played together way back like 25 years ago, back when we both didn't have as much gray hair.
Mine's white.
Yours is white. And so it's since 2003, and we've been fortunate enough to be involved in some real nice things, not of the least of which is to play on this. Is just a great honor to do that.
Well, thank you, and we're glad that you could be here very much.
Great.
And if folks want more information about Steel Rail Bluegrass, you can go to their website, which is steelrailbluegrass.com.
Yes, it is.
All right.
www.steelrailbluegrass.com.
Thanks to my guest, Julie Silverman of Echo Plus Newt, along with Cale Warren, the how-to guy, and of course, Steel Rail Bluegrass. Coming up next week, The Logger, Rusty DeWeese, and musical guest, George Seymour.
Yeah.
Please continue to support local artists like the folks you've seen here tonight. We'll see you next time on Late Night Saturday. Take it away, guys.
I'm not going home. I ain't looking back. Not going home. I ain't looking back. I just turned the tunes up louder. Stepped down harder on the gas. I was on my way to the corner store to get the usual stuff. By the time I hit that blinking light, I knew I'd had enough. I didn't tell you why. I didn't tell you anything at all. Now you might begin to notice when that lawn reaches 3 feet tall. Not going home. I ain't looking back. Not going home. I ain't looking back. I just turned the dudes up louder, stepped down harder on the gas. I'm 10 hours from New England in my pickup headed west. Now it seems my first concern